As a top 0.1% Etsy seller and coach, one of the biggest questions that I regularly get asked is, why am I not getting any sales on Etsy? And I do totally understand why, because nobody wants to put in the time and the effort and the money into launching an online business only to see zero or very few sales at all. We do all want that mostly passive income where we can just sit back and make money and spend as little time as possible working and spending as much time as possible with our friends and family, doing hobbies, playing with our pets, and sitting on the beach or wherever floats your vacation boat. But the reality is, after hundreds and hundreds of shop audits, there are some very common big reasons that I see all of the time for why Etsy sellers aren't getting sales. And please don't hate me for the last one, because I know that no one ever wants to hear this one, but it was pretty much the biggest one. So number one, you have unattractive listing photos. So you wouldn't believe how often that I have someone tell me that they're not getting any sales and that they have tried everything. But then when I looked at their Etsy shop and the product is really great, they've done a great amount of research, the listing is optimized, but the photo looks like a sad, blurry afterthought. So high quality photos aren't just a nice to have, they are a must. Distracting, unclear, and blurry images will just actively drive customers away from your product. So think of it this way. If you can't spend the time to take a decent photo of your product or make a really strong mock-up, then why would anyone even bother to click on your product at all? You may have unattractive listing photos if they are blurred or have distracting backgrounds or bad lighting, or don't really show off what the product actually looks like and does. Remember, you want to drive home what your product's value proposition is, whether that is an attractive sun hat to protect your customer's face, or a printable planner product that will help them organize their yearly goals. So take a critical look at your photos, ask friends and family for honest feedback, and then improve your photos wherever you can to get customers clicking on your listing and improve your search ranking and sales. Number two, you aren't adding new products frequently. So if you aren't adding new products every week or even every month, especially if you sell low ticket graphic design digital products like me, those you'll need to be adding new products almost every day in the beginning, then you probably aren't adding new products frequently enough. Now, please do understand that I am not talking about well-established shops that are already bringing in a ton of money. I really am referring to newer or underperforming Etsy shops that aren't adding many new products at all. As a brand new seller, you want to take every opportunity to show off your products to potential customers, and every single product that you list gives you that chance of showing up in a buyer's search feed and shopping cart. A full Etsy shop also looks more attractive and successful, and really does increase the odds that a shopper will buy multiple items from your shop and then eventually come back and purchase more. Plus, Etsy's algorithm gives you an extra boost for a short period of time whenever you list a product, so it can assess how interested people are in your new item. If you're adding new products every day or week, that is giving you those critical extra eyes on your shop. Number three, you haven't optimized your listing. You could have the most amazing product in the world, but if buyers cannot find it in the search results, then you won't be selling much of it all anyway. Keywords and optimizing your listing help Etsy put your product in front of the right buyers. If you aren't doing keyword research and adding these keywords to your product description and title and tags, then Etsy really doesn't know who to show the product to begin with. You also don't want to miss out on using all 13 available tags on your product. Etsy even recommends that sellers use all 3, so use all 3 of these on every listing. A quick tip when adding keywords to your listing is don't overlap your keywords. While you want to use a few similar keywords that are most relevant to your product, you don't want them all to be basically the same thing in every place where you can add them. So for example, don't use cheetah art and then cheetah print, because these are just too similar and Etsy already got the point with the first one instead. So instead you can maximize your tags by adding cheetah art and then something like animal print. Then optimize your listing further by including the most important keywords in your shop title, your shop sections, and even product descriptions. I strongly recommend using a tool like eRank or Everbee to help you pinpoint the most important keywords for your product. You can look for keywords with a moderate to high search volume but low competition so that your product has a chance of showing up in the first few pages. Number 4, you're not marketing your product. Now you may be wondering, isn't that what keyword research is for and what Etsy is for and optimizing my listings for? And while both of those steps do help your product to be found, most extremely Etsy sellers also market their shops on external platforms. Pinterest and Instagram are especially popular platforms for showcasing products with lots of photos because they are so visual. If you're not already, take advantage of outside marketing platforms and start pinning on Pinterest with links that can take people right back to your shop and your products. Personally, for me, Facebook groups, Pinterest, and TikTok have always done very well for me, both with my digital product shops and physical product shops as well. Number 5, your product research is lacking. So before you even create a product, you should be researching it like nobody's business. So how much research have you actually done for your existing products? Did you decide on a whim to create whatever you felt like, or did you invest time and effort into looking up a product's competition and demand? In a totally ideal world, you've already done this before listing products so that you didn't waste your time and energy creating products that people just were never ever going to buy in the first place. However, if you have made this mistake, then it's best just to learn from it and use a tool like eRank or Everbee to take out the guesswork of what products are actually selling to make sure that people are already looking for them and already purchasing them. So high demand, low competition, keywords are the sweet spot that you should be aiming for, especially as a newer Etsy seller. Number 6, you are not taking advantage of trends. So trends are trends for a reason because people are super interested in them, hyped up, and excited to purchase trendy items. So you really don't want to miss on this. You absolutely do need to create trendy products to gain traction with a new shop. And fortunately, this really isn't as hard as it sounds. You can use tools like Insight Factory or social media platforms to see what exactly is trending, and also just take a look at Etsy as it does share trending products, and pay attention to what you see trending all of the time. Other trends like the holidays or seasons come and go every year, so do plan for these and list your products at least 2 to 3 months in advance so that you're in on those early bird shoppers for whatever the Christmas trend of the year might be. You can also plan for other trends like the trend of setting goals and losing weight in the new year, or wedding products for the summer, or planners for students in fall. Remember that you are the expert for your product and industry, so it is up to you to stay on top of what's going on and consider making yourself a calendar or a planner to keep track of when you should be making these seasonal or holiday products so that you stay on track and don't get behind. Otherwise, I strongly recommend Insight Factory for its trends data to stay on top of changing trends and what is trending on social media for constant inspiration for new products. One trendy product can absolutely change your shop's success by bringing in a massive number of new customers. So number 7, and this one is probably the hardest one to hear, but here it goes. So while they do say that art and designs are subjective, the reality could just be that your design is just not that good. So think of it this way yourself. If you were to put yourself in the buyer's shoes and then ask yourself, would I buy this if it was sitting next to all of the other chicken tumbler wrap designs? Is my design better or adds something unique to the pool of all the other chicken tumbler wrap designs that are out there? And if you don't know the answer to this, then you probably skipped on the research phase because you don't know what your customer wants. And you can fix this by studying and understanding your audience and what they actually want and are looking for. I truly believe that this is one of the reasons my shop has seen the success that it has, and that is simply because I was a buyer and a maker of the products before. So I knew what they were looking for because I had looked for them. And these days I just ask them. So that goes back to why it's really important to build a social media following and an email list so that you have that audience connection and data to rely on when you're creating future products. So if you are experiencing little to no sales, then I do feel for you. I know it's rough and I've been there before. And I want you to know that it really isn't a permanent thing. Just take some time to critically reflect on what may be causing your lack of sales. Look at your Etsy analytics, ask for feedback from an honest friend, and then consider the reasons that I went over in this video, as they are mistakes that I have made myself before and that I see my students make time and time and time again. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.